explaining the 7 levels of poisonous plants in less than 10 minutes. There are more than 390,000 known plant species on Earth. Most of them feed us, and others simply sit there looking decorative. And then there are the plants that hide some of the deadliest chemistry on Earth. Some leave you itchy for an afternoon, others shut down your organs, and a few can kill you without ever moving an inch. These are the 7 levels of poisonous plants. Level 1. Poison ivy. Poison ivy isn't deadly, and it doesn't need to be, because almost everyone who meets it remembers the experience for the rest of their lives. Leaves of 3, let it be. This isn't just camping advice, it's survival advice. The real weapon isn't a poison at all, it's an oily chemical called urushiol. Touch a single leaf, brush against a stem, pet a dog that ran through it. Even smoke from burning poison ivy can carry the oil. Your immune system doesn't recognize it as harmless. Instead, it launches a full-scale assault against your own skin. Hours later, the itching begins, then the swelling, then blisters that can last for weeks. The rash itself isn't contagious, but the oil absolutely is. Every new patch usually means the oil reached another part of your body before it was washed away. Urushiol doesn't affect most animals. Birds, deer, and insects are completely immune. It only affects large mammals like us. Poison ivy rarely kills anyone. It simply introduces itself by making you question every life choice that brought you into the woods. Level 2. Giant hogweed. At first glance, giant hogweed looks almost friendly, tall, elegant, and covered in massive white flower clusters. It resembles Queen Anne's lace after several years at the gym. That appearance has fooled countless people. Inside its sap are chemicals called furanocoumarins. By themselves, they're unpleasant, but expose your skin to sunlight afterward, and they become something far worse. The chemicals destroy your skin's ability to protect itself from ultraviolet light. Within hours, painful burns begin forming. Huge blisters follow. Many victims are left with scars that remain sensitive to sunlight for years. If the sap reaches your eyes, it can cause temporary, and sometimes permanent, blindness. The plant doesn't inject venom, it simply lets the sun finish the job. Level 3. Oleander. Oleander is one of the world's most popular ornamental shrubs. It's planted outside homes, schools, parks, and hotels. Entire highways are lined with it, but every single part of the plant is poisonous. Even the smoke from burning branches can be dangerous. Oleander contains powerful cardiac glycosides, chemicals that interfere with the heart's electrical system and cause severe health issues. A surprisingly small amount can trigger nausea, vomiting, dangerously slow heart rhythms, and eventually cardiac arrest. Throughout history, accidental poisonings have happened after people used oleander sticks to roast food over campfires. People snapped fresh oleander branches to use as skewers for roasting meat over an open fire. As the wood heats up, toxic cardiac glycosides can contaminate the food. However, touching oleander is usually not enough to poison a healthy person. Unlike plants such as poison ivy or giant hogweed, oleander does not typically cause a dangerous reaction just from brushing against the leaves or flowers. It's beautiful, and it quietly sits in millions of gardens around the world, pretending to be harmless. Level 4. Monk's Hood. If medieval Europe had an official poison, this would have been it. Monk's Hood is also known as wolfsbane. Its deep blue flowers are stunning, but its chemistry is terrifying. The active compound is aconitine, one of the most powerful plant toxins ever discovered. Aconitine is an alkaloid toxin produced by various plant species belonging to the genus Aconitum, and it's notorious for its toxic properties. Unlike many poisonous plants, you don't necessarily have to eat it. The toxin can sometimes be absorbed through damaged skin. Once inside the body, it attacks the nerves and heart simultaneously. Victims often remain fully conscious while losing control of their muscles. Their heartbeat becomes chaotic, breathing becomes difficult, and eventually, the heart simply stops cooperating. Ancient hunters reportedly coated arrows with monk's hood extract because if the arrow didn't finish the job, the plant usually did. Level 5. Rosary pea. These tiny red and black seeds look like jewelry, because that's exactly what they've been used for. They're almost perfectly smooth, almost perfectly round, and almost perfectly lethal. Inside, each seed is a toxin called abrin. Gram for gram, it's significantly more toxic than cyanide. Surprisingly, the seed's incredibly hard outer shell is also your best protection. If someone accidentally swallows a seed whole, it may pass through the digestive system without causing any harm, because the tough coating keeps the toxin trapped inside. But the moment that shell is broken, everything changes. Bite into it, crush it, crack it open. Even drilling holes into the seeds to make necklaces or bracelets can release the toxin hidden within. Once the protective shell is breached, you've unleashed abrin, one of the most potent plant toxins ever discovered. Instead of being safely locked away, it can now enter the body and begin attacking cells with devastating efficiency. Abrin prevents cells from making proteins, and without proteins, cells die. Then organs begin failing. It's one of the smallest plants on this list, but it carries one of the biggest consequences. Level 6. Castor bean. The castor bean plant grows in gardens all over the world, and its seeds produce castor oil, a product humans have safely used for centuries. But removing the oil leaves behind something far more sinister. Ricin. Perhaps the most infamous plant toxin ever isolated. Ricin works with horrifying efficiency. It slips inside cells, shuts down protein production, and leaves those cells unable to survive. There is no specific antidote, only supportive medical care, while doctors hope the body can recover. The toxin became internationally famous after the assassination of Bulgarian journalist Georgy Markov in 1978. A tiny pellet containing ricin was injected into his leg using a modified umbrella. At first, Markov reportedly thought little of the strange encounter, but over the following hours, he developed a high fever, severe pain, and rapidly worsening symptoms. Doctors eventually realized they were dealing with something far more unusual than an ordinary infection. He died 4 days later. The murder became one of the most infamous examples of how a toxin from an ordinary garden plant could be transformed into an extraordinarily deadly weapon. Level 7. Manchineel tree. The manchineel tree doesn't just poison you, it weaponizes every part of its existence. Often called the world's most dangerous tree, it grows along tropical coastlines in the Caribbean and parts of Central America, and its fruit resembles a small green apple. Early explorers reportedly called it the little apple of death. One bite can cause intense burning inside the mouth and throat, almost as if the fruit itself were on fire. The pain can become so severe that swallowing becomes difficult, while the lips, tongue, and throat may begin to swell. Victims can experience violent irritation, stomach pain, vomiting, and a feeling that their entire digestive system is being burned from the inside. But eating it isn't the only problem. Touch the bark, and the tree's milky sap can irritate and blister your skin. Even standing underneath it during heavy rain can be a bad idea, because rainwater running off the leaves may carry small amounts of the toxic sap onto your skin. And if you think burning the wood is safer, think again. The smoke can irritate your eyes and may cause serious eye damage. The manchineel tree looks almost completely harmless. It has green leaves, small flowers, and fruit that looks remarkably similar to a little green apple. But this is one of those plants where getting curious can be a very bad idea. It simply grows quietly beside the beach, looking like an ordinary tree, while carrying poison in almost every part of itself. Some beaches literally place warning signs around these trees, while others place big cages around them, because the tree isn't going anywhere. It simply waits, patiently, for someone to mistake it for an ordinary tree. Nature usually doesn't chase its victims. The manchineel never has to. Plants don't have claws or fangs, and they can't run after you. Over millions of years, they evolved something even more effective. Chemistry. Invisible, silent, and astonishingly powerful. Sometimes, the most dangerous thing in nature is the thing that looks completely safe. And the next time you see a plant you've never seen before, maybe don't pick it, don't eat it, and definitely don't assume that because it looks beautiful, it's harmless. Because nature doesn't always need teeth to bite back. Sometimes, all it needs is a leaf.